people jump on there.
Right.
Let me,
We're just waiting for a few people to get online so that we can start our live cooking show. Today we're going to be making blackberry dumplings. So give us just a few minutes. I will show you what I brought today so that we can make the dumplings. It's just a big bag of frozen blackberries. I picked that up at Ingles last night. And then you'll need milk. It's 2% milk. And then you'll need sugar and self-rising flour. My name is Nicole Warrington, and this is my friend Leslie.
If anybody has any questions throughout this, feel free to ask. We'll be checking this as we go.
Looks like we got quite a few people on there so far.
Okay. You want to go ahead and start?
All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our blackberries. I really don't measure anything because my granny is the one that taught me to cook, and she just said, watch what I'm doing. And everything that she measured was like by the palmful, and she just threw it in there. But I take a whole bag of blackberries, which is a 32 ounce or a 2-pound bag. That roughly is about maybe 3 cups of blackberries. So you can see it fills about a quarter of the way up. When you put your water in here, when you're making berries or greens, either one, you only want to put your water halfway up because the berries are going to melt and they're going to make their own water. So I'm going to put just regular tap water in here right now. Let's see if we can show them. Okay, can you see where I've got my berries? The water on my berries? That's important because if you get too much water in your berries, it's going to taste really watered down. So you got to put these on. To high, and I go ahead and I put my sugar in it now so that it's nice and sweet. And I have a sweet tooth, so I really like my berries sweet. This is the 1 cup measuring cup. Maybe we should put the camera over here and then they can see it better. So I put my 2 cups of sugar in there. We're going to let it come to a boil. Once it boils, it'll kind of boil the berries down, and that'll give you a general idea about how much water is in there. If it doesn't make a lot of water after this point is whenever I go ahead and add more water to it, and I taste it to make sure that it's sweet. You may have to add some more sugar if you're going to add water to it, because you want to have enough water in there, and you want your berries to boil down so that they get soft, but you want to have enough water in there so that once it roll boils, then you're going to drop your dumplings in there, and the dumplings have to have enough water to make it rise. So once this boils down, we'll be back to show you what the product looks like. Yeah, I'm going to just pause it.
So, you want to do that too? Or
Yeah.
you have to wait until that's
I'll wait till this is done, because this is going to be, those have to kind of get the fart down. Are we paused?
No, you can't really pause it. You have to finish it.
Well, while we're doing that, we'll go ahead and mix up our dough.
Just so you guys know, Nikki is now the vice chairwoman of the Wolftown Community Club. So we're going to be trying to do this at least once, maybe twice a week. Just let us know what you guys want to see us try to cook, and we'll see what we can do.
All right, so what I did is I took 3 cups of self-rising flour, and I put them in this bowl, and I'm going to make a well in the middle of it. And I'm going to put my milk in there. I'm just stirring it up. And basically the dough that you're making is the same dough that you would use for chicken and dumplings. It's the same thing.
Hey, Sheena.
Make sure to watch your berries too as they start to boil. You don't want them to scorch, because they'll scorch real easy. Can everybody understand me okay? Since I have this mask on, it kind of muffles my speech. So if you can hear me and understand what I'm saying real well, go ahead and give us a wave. We'll post it because it's Amiga. No. Galishki is a Blackberry thing. I have to think about it.
Sheena says you're good.
I'm gonna add a little bit more flour to make it a little bit more thicker.
Sheena says, I'm like a plot of blackberries. When I get too hot, I scorch too.
All right, so this is the consistency of the dumpling stuff. So you just see it's not too, it's thick, but it's still kind of thin. It's not as runny as pancake batter though, because you want your dumplings to be fluffy. That's why I use milk, the 2% milk in mine. It makes them more fluffy.
Big spoons or
No, just a little spoon. I just gotta put it in there so I taste it and make sure.
Sheena says she missed the first part. Did you add anything to the blackberries? Add fresh or frozen, or does it matter?
It was a whole frozen bag of blackberries, and this is gonna make a big pot of dumplings. So there's a frozen pot of blackberries, bag of blackberries, not a pot. And then I added 2 cups of sugar, and then whenever I put the water in there, and I put the water just a little over halfway of the berries, because the berries are going to boil down and make their own water anyways.
Oh, somebody was paying attention.
Tasha. It'll probably boil faster if we put it. Oh, it's over there.
Huh?
I said it'll probably boil faster if we put the lid on it.
Okay, good.
We'll have to put some more liquid in there.
You got rolled out. Or evaporated.
No, it didn't. It's not making enough water. If you like cinnamon, you can put cinnamon in your dumplings. I don't like cinnamon in mine, but I know a lot of people do put cinnamon in theirs.
Tasha says, do I get a bowl for paying attention? You get an A for effort, Tasha.
I'm just stirring it to make sure it's not sticking. It is starting to simmer just a little bit, so it won't be long and they'll be boiling. I might have to move it back over here again because I'm getting ready to drop these dumplings. All right, so it needs more water in it because you want to have enough water to be able to have like enough water for your dumplings. So I'm going to add some more water, but because I'm adding water, I'm going to have to add another cup of sugar also. sugar. All right, so I'm adding more sugar to it. And make sure to taste it too, to make sure that it's sweet enough, because right now is the time that you have to add your sugar, because once you put your dumplings in there, you can't add any more sugar to it like that, because you'll break your dumplings up if you try to stir it.
Are you going to write this down and post it? Yes, we are, Cameo. Actually, you already sent me the directions to it yesterday, didn't it?
Yeah, but that was for a small batch.
Oh.
This is a bigger batch because that was a bigger thing of berries.
Okay.
It was big bag berries instead of small bags.
Do you guys make it with any other berries or fruits?
Oh yeah, sometimes I make it with like a bag of the smaller bag of the triple berry mix that you get in Food Line or Walmart, and that's just a mixture of blackberries, strawberries, and blueberries. And then you can also make strawberry dumplings. Sometimes I make strawberry rhubarb dumplings if I've got rhubarb. Those are the best. I love that with ice cream. And if you guys want to learn to make strawberry rhubarb cobbler, I can show you that too. I did find rhubarb just the other day at Ingles in Waynesville. So before it's out of season, let me know and I'll show you how to do strawberry rhubarb cobbler. I do have Wishy that I just got also. So we'll be posting a video on how to clean the Wishy, and then after you get it cleaned, how to tear it apart, parboil it, and then fry it, eat it with some pork chops, all the yummy stuff that's probably not really healthy for us. And again, we're just waiting on this to boil. I want to show you guys how much water I added to that, because I'm going to be making like 20 dumplings in mine. So, I don't know if you could see. Let me show you how deep the water is. That kind of gives you a general idea. Once this comes to a roll boil, we're going to drop our dumplings in there and let them cook for about 10 minutes. Make sure that once you get your dumplings in there, don't cover it, because your dumplings will disintegrate. And then you'll just end up with thick water. So make sure not to cover it. Just, turn it from a high rolling boil down to like if you've got numbers on your stove, to like a 3 to a 4. So it's just like a medium simmer. These are going to be so good. I'm excited. Anybody have any questions?
Scott says that's cool. It's sort of like, sorry, Sheena, I can't say that word.
It is. Was joppy dumplings. That's exactly what it's like. Tastes a little bit different, but That's a Sue, like Sue dumplings.
Oh yeah?
Oh, they're good too. They do it with fried bread or pemmican. Like
And I think I'm just hungry.
Okay. Sheena says we
thicken our whatever with cornstarch. Do dumplings thicken the juice at all.
yes, it gets kind of like chicken and dumplings. The flour in it will thicken it. After I added that water to it, though, I added another cup, like a cup and 1/4 of sugar, just to make sure it was sweet enough.
Are they ready? Wishful thinking, I guess, huh?
Alright. Let me get any on this spoon. Yeah.
Is Blackberry Dumplings a turkey day only or more of a southern southeastern thing?
I'd like to say it's a Cherokee thing. I think Cherokees put their own twist on everything. You know, and I can remember growing up when I was a kid, my granny would always make blackberry dumplings because we had blackberry bushes that grew right there in our front yard in the garden. So we'd always pick them and bring them in, and she'd always have blackberry dumplings for us and stuff. But I do see recipes on the internet all the time, Pinterest, for blackberry dumplings, so I guess it's probably just a southern thing, but okay. Let me see. Let me taste it. Okay, those berries are a little tart.
She gonna have us diabetic before we leave here.
I know it sounds like a lot of sugar, but it's obviously melting in there. So we're gonna add another 1/4 of a cup, just to be on the safe side. Because like I said before, I really like my berries sweet. I'm gonna stir that up, and it's time to drop our dumplings in. I'm glad you guys are enjoying this, because I sure am.
She loves to cook, and I love to eat her cooking.
Okay, so our berries, you want to hold this up and all? So our berries are at a roll boil.
I'm gonna turn it around.
So our berries are at a roll boil. And we're just going to take a spoonful of this mixture. We're just going to drop it in. I like to count my dumplings because I need to know how many I'm putting in there. So. And I'm going to go ahead and turn my berries down to like a 7 right now, because I don't want it to scorch. Look at them delicious dumplings just fluffing right up. Is anybody counting with me? Because I've lost count now.
Sheena, are you counting?
I think that's 8.
I done lost count too.
And this is why you add your extra water at the end, because you want to have enough room for your berries to, or your dumplings to rise. And remember, don't stir your dumplings. You're just going to turn them, because otherwise they will break apart. So we're not going to stir it. We're just kind of pushing it around. Because I got some that's not sinking yet. There we go. Okay, so we're going to turn our berries down a little because you don't want them to boil over. Make sure that you're using it in a big enough pot because it's going to rise and it's going to, if you use a pot that's too small, it's going to boil over.
Sheena says 26.
Woo! 26. Tall sco shoe doll, if anybody wants to know how to say 26. Okay, so every one of them are submerged now. And it is 12:45, so at 12:55, that should be done. Roughly about 10 minutes. Make sure to turn your heat down to like a 3 and don't cover it. If it gets to where it's trying to boil over, just kind of push your dumplings down and it'll push that froth down on it. Or you can put a wooden spoon over the top of it too. That'll keep it from boiling over. Alright, we'll go ahead and stop our video now. Once this is done, then we'll go back live and we'll show the end product. Thank you guys for watching, and tune back in a few minutes.